Okay, we have another little boat project today we're going to be working on. Back here, the last time we used the boat, I think once we got it all the way in, it was cleaned up, I was lifting the motor up and I didn't realize my light in the back was down, and it just caught just wrong and it broke the connecting piece down here at the bottom, and I'll have to show you that later. The old light's out in the shed. So I'm just going to do a rewire on a new light and try to get that installed on the boat. So as you can see here, we've got the brand new light. It comes with just bare wires at the end. I cut the plug off of the old one, so I'm going to need to rewire that. We've got some heat shrink tube. I've got a couple of these black ones from before, and I bought a multi-purpose size kit. Probably going to do these bigger ones just because once you solder your connection together, to get the thing to slide back over the connecting point, it really needs to be a little bit bigger than this one, which is really perfect for the wire. So, I've got the soldering gun. Just tipped over and hit the wood. I've got the soldering gun heating up right now, and I'm going to trim these wires off so we can get them connected together. One thing you want to make sure you do is don't forget to put the shrink tube on the wire before you, I'm just going to hold this, before you start connecting everything together. Okay, so I've got them both soldered on. The wire's connected there. That one I did a little bit better job on. The first thing I did was put the heat shrink wrap on it, so I didn't forget that. I've unplugged the solder gun so it can start cooling down. Now I'm going to start with this one, slide it over. Just going to use a lighter to heat the heat shrink ramp up, just not getting it too close, so it can shrink down over the wires. Then we'll head outside for the next part. Well, heat shrink wrap is on, so going on outside for the next step. So as you can see here, this was the old light, and it had a little pin over here on this side that stuck through, and somehow it got loose, and when we lifted the motor up, it caught just right and it broke it off. Let's see if I can show you this holding the camera. It broke it off right here, so this can't be reused. But I did cut off the wires like I showed you a few minutes ago. There's nothing wrong with the plug on this end. I need to get this off and then put on the new one so I can put the new light on. So let's see if I can get this off. Looks like it's just connected with some bolts down here and screws. So let me see if I can make this happen. Well, I managed to get the old light off fairly easy. If you'll notice, the light connection on here, let's see if I can get to where you can see this is flat, but the bar is curved. So they have this little piece of plastic on here that's curved. You can see that. So I'm going to try to reuse this with the other one. I'm going to mess around with it a little bit, make sure everything's going to work, and then I'll show it to you. Wow, this one bent. They're both bent. That's interesting. So we'll see what that means as I'm trying to reinstall the new ones. Before I installed it, I went ahead and plugged it in up here. You can see, and I'm gonna, if I can keep from breaking it, I'm gonna turn it on real quick and make sure it works. Yep. So it's got power. I'm gonna go ahead and get it installed now. Found a little problem. So as you can see, holes don't line up. So I'm about to drill some new holes. The original ones are a little more sturdy. They went all the way through. These new ones have screws that just go in through the top. So I'm gonna get some pilot holes going, and then we can screw this on. I drilled some pilot holes. Hopefully make this easier to screw on. Okay, project's done. I ended up having to rig a few things. It came with these screws that were to go in right here, and even drilling the pilot holes, I didn't want to go any bigger or the screw wasn't going to catch at all. It just wouldn't catch. That metal was too hard or the screws were too soft, one or the other. So instead, went ahead and drilled all the way through. These bolts are probably a little too long, but I'm going to wrap some black tape on the end of it just to try to keep it from maybe wearing a hole in here. I took the excess line, just kind of zip tied it and stuck it back in there. So we'll just keep an eye on it. I've got some lock nuts and lock washers on there. at least on this side. One lock washer on that side, but this actually seems tighter than this side. Anyways, it worked. It'll work for us. We don't even use this light very much, but I just want it in case of an emergency situation. Okay, thanks for watching. Well, we do have, I think, 3 other videos on this hurricane boat. This is a 202 2005 Hurricane. These shade tops, though, you get them on just about any boat, so you may have these same issues if you need to replace your backlight, your stern light for any reason. So it kind of shows you some of the issues and some of the things to look at maybe before you buy a new light. This is the first time I've ever done it. Hopefully the last time I'll ever have to do it. But you never know. So if you want to see our other videos, just check out our channel, The Schmidt House. And we have a lot of stuff about fishing and hunting and other things too. So thanks for watching.